Hey everybody, it's David. I'm out in beautiful Bentonville, Arkansas. My wife and I are here for a couple of days. It's my first trip since my quintuple bypass surgery back in July, and it's just fantastic. This is what I pictured early retirement being: out exploring and traveling and doing hard things on my bike and hiking and different things. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our trip to Bentonville and about early retirement travel. Are you ready? Hey, let's talk about it. Well, today, as I mentioned at the intro, we're going to talk a little bit about our recent trip to Bentonville. Yeah, I'm back home now. I took that video after riding one of my favorite trails. It's just crazy there. And this, as I said, is what I totally pictured early retirement to look like. If you watched my video from last week, I talked about the fun bucket, which is how we budget for our retirement. If you've been around this channel at all, you know I got sidetracked by my health issue. I'll post some links down to some various videos about that stuff. But mostly I want to talk about the joy of travel in early retirement. Real quickly, is that something that you are interested in? Is travel something that motivates you for your retirement or your early retirement? Leave me a comment and let me know. Well, for us, Bentonville is about 3.5 hours from where we live, and it brands itself as the mountain bike capital of the world, which is pretty cool for someone like me who loves to ride bikes and be outdoors. So my wife and I took our bikes to Bentonville, and we stayed at this fantastic place called the Bike Inn. I'll post some pictures about that as well. This is a bike-themed hotel, and it was really kind of like an Airbnb. I think he didn't have but like 12 rooms, and there's some cabins in the back, and you punch in just like an Airbnb. And the room is bike-themed, which was pretty awesome. Outside, there was a place to wash the bikes after you were riding, which is terrific. And it was just a great place to stay. What I enjoyed most of all was there's a fire pit. And in the evening, we went out to that fire pit, and there was a fellow sitting there by himself. And we had just a wonderful conversation with this guy. He is a contractor. He had just stopped his work, and he was taking a 16-month mini retirement, a break, to travel cross country, shoot videos, and follow his passion, which is helping veterans. What a great example of something else that you can do. You know, you don't have to just retire like my wife and I are doing, where we're not planning to go back to full-time work. This person was taking a mini break with a mission of something to do to help people. Also, at this campfire, a few minutes later, a young couple showed up that was on their honeymoon and just beginning their lives together. Oh, that's just terrific. And then finally, another person pulled up, and this guy was a salesman or something, I think, and someone who really loves mountain biking and picks the places that he goes on his sales calls so that afterwards he could ride bikes. It was just a terrific evening, and it was a Tuesday. Isn't that great? You know, when you are early retired or retired, you have the opportunity to travel when you want and go, obviously, where you want. And it doesn't necessarily have to be all that fancy or expensive. This hotel was one of the cheapest ones we found in Bentonville, but it was locally owned, and it was just a terrific experience. Now, Bentonville is an amazing place. It's known for cycling, and it's also known for its Crystal Bridges Art Museum. And the cycling part, I'll tell you, was terrific. We went to this place called the Kohler Bike Preserve, and I'll have a link to it below in the comments. And it's like a Disney World for mountain biking. All kinds of obstacles and things. The trails were incredible. And while I'm riding those, there's a paved trail that kind of goes in the middle, and my wife is riding that as well. And it was just terrific. Everything I expected and that I want out of our early retirement. Doing hard physical things are relatively hard for me. You know, I know a lot of people in their 60s and 70s and even in their 80s that are in good health and they're able to do things. But I also know that here in my 50s, there are things that I can do now that when I'm in my 70s, I will not be able to do. And that was one of the reasons we wanted to retire early, is so that we could do those hard things, to get outside, to ride the bike, to get outside and hike the hike. And unfortunately, due to my health issue, I got derailed with it. But thanks to being financially independent, I was able to buy a relatively dream bike for me, an e-bike, an electric bike, that allowed me to ride all these trails in a way that was still fun and within the parameters of what I can do with my health. So Bentonville, what a fantastic place. If you have the opportunity to ever travel there, if you're a cyclist or if you're someone who likes art, highly recommend this place. Let's talk about early retirement travel. Yeah. Another thing that is fantastic is that we are making a point to travel during the off season and then typically during the week. What are the benefits to that? Well, the main thing is there's no people. I'll never forget our trip to the Guadalupe Mountains and the Guadalupe National Park. And we pull up in the parking lot to hike this trail, and you can see we were the only car in the parking lot. And as we hiked this trail, there was only one other person we encountered. And that was because we were there in the off season, so to speak. And it just made it terrific for us. Here in Bentonville, we walked up to a very popular restaurant in the evening, Wednesday evening, and there was no line. We were immediately seated. So when you travel off schedule, if you travel as an early retired person, it is great because you can avoid all those crowds, and you typically can find some good deals as far as low expenses on places to stay. Just make sure that you are doing what you want to do as part of your life adventure, your best life. Ours is travel. Yours might be different, something else. I've heard it said many times that people that retire have the go years, the slow go years, and the no go years. Well, for us in early retirement, we are maximizing that go years. The sooner that you get out of that cubicle and you get out of that full-time life, the longer your go years can be. And that, to me, is one of the most exciting reasons why you want to retire early. Whether that looks like traveling and doing things like that, going to visit family, pursuing your hobbies, whatever your go dream is, when you retire early especially, that go gets longer and longer. And man, we are having a great time. I want to thank you. I've been doing this channel for about a year, and I have a video coming up talking about my 1 year anniversary, so to speak. And I want to thank everyone who watches the channel, who is part of David in Progress, especially those of you that leave comments. I love the conversations that we're having about retiring and early retiring. And I would like your help. The best thing you can do is give me the thumbs up. The next thing is to leave a comment. But I'd also love to hear from you. What questions do you have? What videos would you like to see from me about our early retirement life? I want this channel to not just be all about David and David in Progress. I'd like it to also be about you and things that you would like to know and that you would like to see. I just love having you part of David in Progress. I love having you part of my YouTube channel. You're why I am doing this, and I just wanted to thank you. Thank you so very much for watching, and thank you for being part of David in Progress.